Big ups to the big man. Shit, was that racist? Fuck.
Oh god, edit it out. Edit it out.
God. Everybody ignore that. That just happened. I don't know why I did that. I swear to God, I've never done that before.
I don't know what you even just did.
I don't either. But it wasn't me. And I'm nervous now.
It's alright, but
And here we are. Welcome to Oatmeal Brains, where we're never prepared, but we always have something to say.
not great things to say, but for sure.
But yeah, it was just like a series of unfortunate events, trademark. But
Not a very good movie. No, not a very good show. Very good movie.
Yes, I agree. The movie, I've never read the books, but the movie was better than the show. But the show is still pretty entertaining. But anyway,
Books are for nerds, so I haven't read a book because I'm cool.
It all started this morning when I woke up late because my phone had updated, which is weird because I have an iPhone 6 and I always make sure not to update it because I've heard that like if you update it and stuff, like it will start to kill all of the battery life and stuff because the hardware isn't prepared for the new software and the updates. So since my phone updated, my alarm didn't go off. So, keep in mind that I'm running late to
I lost
work.
a job that way once. Oh,
that's even worse. That's way worse than my story. So please don't take my steam.
Please don't. Because no, I'm sorry, but for some reason, if your alarm doesn't go off in the morning, that's your fault.
Yeah.
And I blame technology.
Can we take a
not
lawsuit
my shitty
Can we
phone.
take a lawsuit with Apple for all of our lost wages because when the phone updates, it restarts everything. So the first thing I had to do this morning was go through all the welcome screens and stuff, which doesn't even make sense to me. But main point being is that alarm didn't go off, so I'm late to work. I get into work and I get a call from Crystal, who was on her way to work, and she stopped to get gas, and the battery in her key fob died. And since we have newer cars, it's not like a put the key in and turn it type of thing. It's you sit in the car and, the key fob's in the car so you can hit the push to start. So the battery died. So she's stuck at a gas station.
So can I have Okay, I'll let you go. I'm just really curious. So you're trying to tell me that keys don't start cars anymore?
Correct. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Interesting.
So she's at the only gas station that's downtown. And it has, I think, it only has 4 pumps. So she's at the busiest gas station, the only one downtown, stuck at the pump, and she can't move while there's people trying to get in and get gas. So she calls me so I can come get her batteries and reinstall it into the fob or whatever. So I'm on the phone with her. I'm 45 minutes away at this point because I have to go to the store first to get batteries. And she's like, well, I guess I'm stuck here, so I might as well clean out my car. And she goes to open one of the back doors, and then the car alarm goes off. So now she's stuck at a gas station with people waiting for her to get out of the way with her fucking car alarm to going off.
Currently
and
going off.
I felt so bad, but at the same time, I couldn't help but laugh a little because that's just so horrible. What are the odds? So I was late to work. And now I had to leave work after just barely getting there, basically, which was fine. It's whatever, but And then at the end of the day, I was texting you, and then my phone screen just goes bzz, and just dies, and I don't know, and I guarantee it's because of that fucking update, which was how my day started. And now I'm here, and I have no phone.
So I have 2 sentiments to say on this is that one, I'm very nervous because for the first time in my life, for literally 10 years, because when did I get my first phone? 16 or something? Literally 10 years I've had Verizon contracts, and I get a new phone. I mean, it's awful. It's not worth it at all. But every 2 years I get a new phone and I do the payment. But this is the first year that I said fuck you and bought my phone outright. I paid it off and then got onto a straight talk type deal. So now I'm so fucking paranoid that I'm gonna fucking break my phone, because if I break my phone, I'm either gonna have to spend $1,000 to get a new phone or buy some bullshit shitty phone that I don't want.
Right.
And the second thing I have to say, and I've been saying this for years now, is that I don't want to be super rich, but I want to be rich enough where I don't have to have a phone case on my phone. That's the level of wealth I want to be at.
I don't usually ever put a phone case on my phone, not because I can afford to grab a new one, but I just don't understand it. Like, what was the point of Apple taking away the quarter-inch jack so that they could make their phone thinner for you to put a case on it that's the size of a shoebox? Like,
well, no, that's the
it
thing.
doesn't
It's
make
like
any sense to me.
I literally have like the Galaxy Note 9 or something, which I think there's like a fucking 11 out now. But it's an awesome phone. It looks fucking cool. It's got the stylus. But then I bought the slimmest line case I could for it, and it just makes my phone look like just fucking garbage. And it's like,
Yeah.
I wish I could just not have this on it, but if I break this phone, I'm out $1,000 and I can't just buy a new phone. So that's how I just want to be that rich.
And
I don't need a big ass
chat
pool.
says fuck iPhones, but
I agree.
I doubt that you have experienced AirDrop, because that makes my life so easy, and I love it.
My thing with iPhones is that like I would do an iPhone every other generation. Like my next phone, I could like absolutely see myself getting like a 10 or 11 or X or whatever the fuck they're called. But to be like a iPhone simp is fucking stupid, because nothing changes enough phone to phone.
Yeah, I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
Which it
It's
sucks
the same
too,
fucking shit.
because so I have the iPhone 6 or whatever, and I've been using the software from the iPhone 6, and I updated today. That I found so much cool stuff that the phone could do now, and then
Yeah, but I
but
guarantee
it
you
killed
it's
my
nothing
phone.
as. But I guarantee you it's not as cool as what
I don't
my
know.
phone can
I was
do. And my phone's
texting
3
and
generations.
watching Netflix at the same time.
Yeah, I can do that. When
It's-
I minimize
was
any
awesome.
sort of media, if I minimize any sort of media, it just goes in the corner of my phone, and I can do anything in the background.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And
I
have been
did not
able
know
to
that
do
phones
that,
did that.
for like 5 years.
You also have a new phone, so I can't argue, because I have
Well-
no idea when that happened, because I have an iPhone 6.
Sure. Sure, but I would put little money, but money on the fact that Android has been doing that for much longer. Because I've always said, like, although I did sign up for YouTube Premium because it's free for 2 months right now. I don't know if that deal is still going on, and I did do it. But there's no point in YouTube Premium if you have a newer phone, because the biggest thing is that you can watch the media
Yeah.
in the background.
I was going to
It's
ask
like
that.
you can
So it
already
does work
do
with
that.
YouTube?
You can already do that. It just like
That's
minimizes
hilarious. So
it
yeah,
on the
there's
bottom of the
literally no
screen.
reason. There's no reason to get
No,
YouTube Premium then.
I was telling Morgan this. Like, I actually don't like having premium, because the only difference is that if I shut my phone off, the sound is still happening. But if I turn my phone off, that means I want it to stop.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to keep going.
I guess there's no ads too, though, right?
There's no ads, but like, honestly, the ads are fine. The only thing that really pisses me off, like on the ad side of things, is Hulu, because it's like, yo, I don't pay $9 a month to then watch 5 ads for my episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's 25 minutes long.
Yeah. It's even more ridiculous.
It sucks, because
too,
then I just spend the extra fucking money.
And also, explain to me how you can spend $50 a month on Hulu and still get ads. Because that's
Dude,
mind-boggling.
it's so
to me.
dumb.
I know.
Well, no, so
I
that's
don't
what.
get it
So
at all.
so Marcus decided to get the Hulu Live, and we split it for the deli so we could watch like the newest episodes of fucking like Below Deck and stuff. And that's all well and good, because even if you have adless Hulu, you still have to watch ads for the on-demand shows, which is basically just the current season of the show. But if you go back, and for instance, like this is like we have been doing this, is watching Always Sunny, because he's never watched it, which is crazy.
That's
But
so wild.
we've been I know. It's so fun to rewatch it though. Holy shit, it's
Yeah,
just so
that show
good.
is so wonderful.
And it's like we're on like season 10 and it's still fucking good. But anyways, he was paying $60 and still getting ads on the old shows like Always Sunny. And it's just like I was just like honestly, cancel the live because we barely used the live. And now just barely I got the Hulu with commercial free again because it's $11 and now we're watching Always Sunny. It's such a better experience.
Yeah, I feel like that is a better deal. But live is fun because you don't like
And live is
you
fun
don't
and you
realize that
actually
it's fun
do.
until all of a sudden like there's something on and you're like, oh, I can actually watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I like to have it at the end of the year because of like it's like it kind of all meshes together. It's like the Super Bowl happens and then like all the award shows happen and stuff and those are all really fun to watch. So it is like once February comes, it's almost worth it to have it for like 3 months.
Dude, I
But
miss doing award shows with you.
dude, it's my fucking favorite thing in the world.
Dude, although I guess this year it didn't matter because I don't think any happened.
Yeah, I mean this year definitely doesn't fucking matter.
Although I'm going, oh, actually no, I have so many topics today. Everything kind of relates to something or another. Actually, I guess I could get into this because I don't need to like bring up the article because it's not important. But I wanted to say that I bought tickets to my first show of the year. It's live, but it's not. It's at my home in the comfort of my own
Is it the Every
home.
Time I Die one?
Yes, I bought a ticket to the live stream of the Every Time I Die. I was gonna say Halloween, the Every Time I Die Christmas show, which I'm so excited about because I've always wanted to go and I've never been able to, and now I get to go. And it was only $15, and you know, if it were
Like,
not
everyone in the
COVID,
house
I
can
could
watch
have
too.
yeah. If it weren't COVID, I could have like a fucking party and like rage with all of my friends and just watch Every Time I Die, be as loud as I want, and just get as shitty as I want, you know, and just go to my bed and not have to drive home from Boston or some shit, you know.
Yeah, no, the Wonder Years show that we all went to last year, literally did like the similar thing, but I didn't end up buying it. But there was still like the like Halloween costume contest and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. And then I noticed, and I doubt I'll buy it, but 4 Years Strong is still doing their annual Palladium show.
Ooh,
And
that's
all
fun.
the proceeds go to the Palladium.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, because like, dude, like every venue has to be getting fucked.
Yes,
uh,
tickets are still for sale for ETID. I'm sure they're going to be for sale up until like the event happens.
Yeah,
too,
there's
which
like
is another great thing
they
about the live
can't.
show. Like you're not going to sell out.
You can't sell out of. Dude, this game is so easy. I'm wasted. I'm just smoking fucking kids right now.
But that also relates to an article I saw that a pop punk band, which I don't know why pop punk bands are just the worst and always causing problems for everybody.
Yeah,
But this pop punk
really
band played a live
My
show.
side note, my most listened to genre this year.
Nice. I mean, I love the music, but fuck, man.
Also it was so. Did you look at the Spotify Wrapped because it was so fucked because so many
No.
people use that account.
Oh yeah.
It was like so the most played artist was like Post Malone, which was definitely Morgan. Although I like Post Malone,
I definitely listened to it a lot too when I was using your account.
but then it was like Vanna.
Nice.
What was it? And then the fourth was Wonder Years, which makes sense because they're like always playing in my head. What was it? I'm so mad now. It was Post Malone was number one, and then it was Vanna was like number two, and then what was the fuck? But it was very accurate. But then when you went to the top played song, the number one played song was a song I had never even fucking heard in my life.
Weird. Well, you don't remember what it was though?
It was definitely you, because it's definitely
Oh.
nothing that Morgan was listening to.
Like what kind of music was it?
Something weird.
It was probably some sort of like emo rap thing. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was.
That was me.
And then in the top five were like Harry Potter Trap remixed.
That's Oliver.
And shit.
That
Yeah,
was
which was
Oliver.
Oliver. And I was just like, none of this is me at all. But I mean, I digress.
Yeah, but
So,
so a
anyways,
pop punk band in like Michigan, Missouri, something like that, played an actual live show. And it
okay.
was they still did like masks were required and it was a limited amount of tickets and all of that, but they still got hella backlash. Yeah. Um, but I kind of thought, like not to make too light of it because they could possibly like be responsible for killing people, but that's kind of just great marketing. Like I'd never heard of this band before, and bet your ass the first thing I did was go and listen to it. Right?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, I don't really know because it is pretty shitty too. But also they were signed to Hopeless Records. Like this got through a lot of hands, and other people were telling them like, yeah, this is a great idea. But I guess also like when the show started, like no one was wearing masks or anything like that.
I mean, Smash Mouth did that too, so.
Yeah, I did see that, and they played like what? It was some like biker.
They
was
openly
Sturgis?
dismissed masks. I don't know. This was actually like a long time ago. This was like beginning of the pandemic.
But I just thought it was also funny because you were talking about how like Moose Blood and stuff is a problematic band, and I just keep thinking about how, like what is wrong with pop punk, and why are they always causing so many problems?
I will literally die on this hill, and I will only die on this hill because of how fucked pop punk is, and for whatever reason. And before I even get into it, I want to address the Hard Times article that I'm sure I sent you. That was Machine Gun Kelly breaking all traditions by dating an adult or whatever.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Because he's dating Megan Fox and now he's a pop punk artist.
Yeah.
But
I definitely do remember seeing that. Yeah, that's so fucked up, but so funny too.
But like,
but for real, what the hell's going on there?
No, but like Moose Blood has really good songs. I really like them. And the reason they got canceled was like they sent around nudes or something that they found on someone's open Wi-Fi while spending the night at their house or something when they were on tour.
How that even happens is super weird.
Which is like okay, not cool, but not worth canceling over because there is plenty of front like porch steps out there.
Yeah,
like there are plenty of and fucking what was the other one where they were like doing meth and like fucking babies or whatever.
Oh,
like
shit, what was that band?
Prophets,
like,
Lost Prophets. Yeah,
dude, I couldn't even finish that article when that was all going on. Like that was so disgusting. Like,
oh yeah, I'm not.
Like my hair
like, I have
even just like recalling it.
Yeah, no, like I have a pretty like strong stomach, but yeah, that was too much for me. But I digress before we get canceled off of Twitch. But like, yeah, I will die on the hill of Moose Blood because I just feel like in the pantheon of like bad shit, like that's forgivable. I feel like it's just like, of course, a bunch of stupid dudes would.
I think that's like a good way to look at it. Is it's just like that? That's the case where you should come out and apologize and do right by it, and then. But
like, they haven't had an album out like in years, and I don't think they tour like pre-pandemic, and like I really like Moose Blood, so I guess I'm biased.
And again, and also again, like I
don't stand
still
by them, but
it's just that like artist versus the art.
Well, we've been having this conversation for years because remember when Rise Against got super super popular, and then all of a sudden they started like trying to be canceled by Christians because the lead singer used to be in like an Antichrist band. And then there was all those articles being like, you can separate the music with the artist and stuff, and like that's just like I support Antichrist. So like that's like a very like obviously not a great
comparison
example, but in this like in the same vein, it's just like you can definitely like enjoy somebody's music who might be a shitty person, especially because like everyone sucks. I finished it, and I'm glad you didn't. What was that referring to?
I'm assuming Lost Prophets, and yeah, That's one band where
Oh,
fuck
yeah,
their
oh, yeah,
band,
or-
fuck that person. They can all go to hell.
Yeah, that, and also Lost Prophet sucks. So like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, that was
Or
also a
ish.
band that I never listened to before, ever. So it's really easy for me to just be like, I have no attachment to it.
She does bring up J.K. Rowling though, and I just have to double down on the fact that she, as in J.K. Rowling, did, I'm assuming, okay Johnny Depp, and I'm not cool with that.
Yes, that's the wrong that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Was hiring that douche, but at least he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For what I will continuously not understand, because I don't read shit. I'm not sure I can read, but like, who is the bad person in that relationship that everyone
I don't
keeps
know,
like
because
going,
I keep
like,
seeing
did
little
she
tidbits
beat
too,
him? Did he beat her? Did they beat each other? Like, what's going on there? Like, all I know is that he is just the worst actor.
Yeah, but I mean, him getting kicked off of Harry Potter like kind of makes me believe that like.
Yeah, it makes me think that he was the abuser. Oh God, there's a guy in here.
All right, I'm coming. Yeah, chat says that she beat him, which does seem to be like the general consensus.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was like a Tate from American Horror Story, Emma Roberts situation.
Wait, did that happen in the show or in real life?
No, that happened in real life. They did in real life, and she has like actual charges.
Oh shit! Ooh, I'm kind of into that. Like, I kind of thought she was pretty hot before, but now I'm like more into it.
What the fuck? What kind of?
I don't know.
Dude, my gun was a one shot.
I got killed with a tactical shotgun green.
Man, I was doing so good. I had like 4 kills or more. It was like the best I've done in a while, because like lately I've been doing awful.
That was also
and I've been
not
playing
me.
with, and I've been playing with Oliver. And he's like a pro, so this is some bullshit.
That was also not me giving the okay for domestic abuse. I just like to get beat up, is all.
I mean, can I be pro Johnny Depp getting abused? No? Okay. I won't die on that hill, but I will say it.
So I ran out of my definitely not FDA approved energy drink, and Capri Sun is never going to sponsor me. So I have a brand new unofficial
Never
sponsor
say
today.
never.
Yeah, I mean, I would like Capri Sun to come around.
Never.
But before we drop in, I have a new unofficial sponsor, and it is it's too bright, but it's Liquid Death canned water.
Oh, I know a lot about that. One of the spokespeople of Liquid Death is the the werewolf from True Blood.
Well, I've never given a shit about this company because
water?
I'm not going to spend money on something that comes out of my tap for free.
Mm-hmm.
However,
they
recently just put out an album where the lyrics were written off of bad reviews, and the music was written and performed by members of, let's see, I have it written down here, Anti-Flag, Alkaline Trio, Rise Against, the Bomb Pops, the Lawrence Arms, and We Are the Union. And anybody who supports punk rock music, I support.
Yeah, well, they clearly support punk rock just like by their marketing, but every band except for the Bomb Pops are like in my top 20 favorite bands of all time. So
dude, I love all of those. I did start listening to the Bomb Pops like last summer, and I also think they're wonderful. But yeah, they're not from like my high school days. You know, I don't have that kind of relationship with them.
I have this
but
conversation.
Their music is great, and all of those bands are great. And I listened through the whole album. It's 14 songs, and they're hilarious, and they're well written, and it's my new favorite album of the year.
Yeah, I just have a hard time getting into new punk rock because, like, when I listen to punk rock, I just want to listen to like the songs that make me sing really loud and annoy people near me. Oh God, there's a guy right there. Let me shoot him to death.
Oh my gosh. He was harder to put down when he was crawling around rather than when he was.
I've noticed that. Like,
But
I need
I would,
fucking
yeah, I
ammo.
would suggest everybody go and listen to that. It's on Spotify, and it is great. But I'm very excited to be drinking this canned water. Also, it just reminds me of Warped Tour. which is bittersweet.
Oh, so two things funny about that is with the Liquid Death, you have no idea how many times that shit's been in a cart in my fucking like a PayPal cart. But I saw a hilarious thing today about people freaking out about taking vaccines or not for the COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tweets I saw was that if you've ever used a porta potty at Warped Tour, you cannot be concerned about what's in the COVID vaccine.
If you've ever been in a
I
porta
thought,
potty
"Ooh."
at Warped Tour, you're probably immune to COVID.
Or you have hepatitis.
Dude, speaking of porta potties and Warped Tour, one of my favorite memories ever is I was standing in line at Warped Tour for the porta potties, and me and this dude were just like hitting it off, just like talking back and forth. And like the next person came out of the porta potty, and it was like his turn or my turn. And we looked in, and it was one of those ones that has like the urinal part and like the toilet part. And we kind of both looked at each other, and like the line was so long, like it always is. And we're like, you know, there's two in here. We could both just go at the same time. And we like started a trend of just people going in 2 by 2 because we're like,
Dude,
there's two fucking holes in here.
No, I remember that vividly because I was also in that line, and then you guys both went, and when you left, you're like, "There's fucking two in here." And
Yeah,
then,
like everybody else
like,
was a fucking
oh,
idiot.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, everyone was just like going in 2 by 2. That happened to me at a bar once. I was like, so it was a bar in like pretty typical men's room shit. There's a both. And I was in there, but like it wasn't like it was supposed to be that way. Like it was clearly a one-person bathroom. There was no divider, nothing. Like kind of like a porta potty would be. But like you started the thing. I just accidentally didn't lock the door. And this guy, and I was midstream, and this guy just like walked in. He's like, "Hey," and then just started pissing. And I was just like, what the fuck? I didn't agree to this.
Yeah, I also walked into the women's room before and got so nervous that I just went into a stall and peed and then kept my head down and just walked out as quickly as I could. But I was just like so embarrassed. I didn't want to just like walk in and like, oh shit, the storm's already here. I didn't want to just like walk in and make a big scene, you know, because I was so anxious about it. I just like kept my head down and just like went into the stall, took a pee, and then got out of there as quick as I could.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you remember this, but remember that one time we were in Montreal and we were at that fucking punk bar and me, you, and Ben all went piss at the same time, and like as we were leaving the bathroom, everyone was like, "Oh, that was the women's room," and we were like, "How the fuck were we supposed to know? There's no fucking doors on anything."
Yeah.
Because there was literally no indication that it was even a restroom, let alone a ladies' room. And like everything was just fucking tagged up, and there was no fucking doors on like the door to the bathroom or the stalls. And here we are about to die in the storm.
Dude,
oh wait, no, we'll make it.
I think we will make it, but we always just get so sidetracked looting in this game that we're constantly stuck in the goddamn storm.
How so? Chat's saying that dudes' bathrooms blow your mind. How so?
I'm assuming by how disgusting they are.
I've heard on many accounts that women's restrooms are way worse.
Well, I'd like to know.
Yeah, me too, chat. Waiting on you. Girls' bathrooms are uplifting. Are you talking about the social commentary inside of a bathroom? Because we didn't experience that. We just experienced the, like, humility of accidentally using the wrong restroom.
Does that mean like their graffiti is nicer? Oh shit, just really shooting for no reason.
Yeah, right. What kind of bathrooms do you go to? Wow, he's really fucking me up though.
Do you get pep talks about how beautiful and strong you are off of the graffiti, or is there just like attendants in female restrooms that are just like, when you walk in, they're just like, you look so beautiful today?
And men's rooms is just like everyone trying really hard not to look at each other's dicks.
Oh.
be right back.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna load up this next topic and drink my liquid death. I like it. I mean, it's just water, but it's in a can and it makes me feel like I'm drinking a beer.
So I'm back, and also like I was peeing and just reminiscing on all the amazing bathroom punk show interactions I've had in my life. And there's just so many I couldn't even explain them all. But one of the ones that came to mind was that one of the last times, I don't even know what show it was. And I think you were still around, but maybe not. Maybe it was Morgan and Marcus. I walked into the men's room and there were all these chicks in there, and I was like a little taken aback at first, but then I realized that the reason they were in there was because I'm assuming one of their boyfriends or just close friends had been puked on.
Oh god.
Like completely puked on, and these two chicks were in there just trying to help him clean his fucking shirt off of all of the puke that was all over him.
Ugh.
Ah, yeah. Or do you remember the time that we were at that fucking shithole in Nashua and
Oh my
literally
god. I
the
go back
bathroom
to my Twitter just to reminisce because I only have like 10 fucking tweets on my Twitter account, and 6 of them are about the shit floor in the bathroom at that show.
Well, it wasn't even the shit floor in the bathroom. It was the shit floor in the whole venue.
Yeah, because
Because
it
the
started
toilet-
to creep. It got bigger throughout the night.
And it was also the same. It's fine. It was also the same show where that chick was so fucking hammered and she was just dancing like an inflatable arm man from a car dealership, like right in front of one of the security guards. And the security guard just kept looking over us, just like giving us the side eye, like, what the fuck is happening right here?
And what was it called at the time? There was like a term for that kind of girl. Oh, a woo girl.
A woo girl,
they
yeah.
just get drunk and go,
woo!
And like she didn't know what band she was seeing. She's never seen what was it?
Yeah,
it was like Tongues or something.
Yeah, it was Twitching Tongues with Vanna. It was like Vanna and State Champs and like Twitching Tongues, whatever the fuck that band even is, another band.
Dude, she was just so drunk that she was just into it, and it's honestly
it's just like fucking flapping around, and she was so fucking hammered, and she was doing it right in front of a security guard who didn't even know what to do about it, because it's like nothing she's doing is wrong, but like she's clearly too fucking wasted to be here.
Yeah. Oh man, now I'm just missing going to shows.
You know, when I got my latest tattoo, I was talking about going to shows and stuff, and how like I kind of was taking it for granted for the last like few years, because like I like going to shows, but like my body's fucked, and like pretty much since I turned 21, going to shows just meant like hanging out at the bar.
Yeah.
And like I actually like skipped a few shows that would have been sweet in my area, and I just like didn't care. But now it's just like, holy fuck, what I would do to like just go hang out at a show right now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it will happen again.
Maybe in like 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to move because I'm not dying in the gas again.
But while we're talking, or while we're walking,
wasn't
we can get
was it the Wonder Years show where the girl was? Oh shit, I'm running the wrong direction. Where the guy was being wiped down in the bathroom for being puked on? It could have been, because I feel like it was a recent show, it was one of the last shows I went to. Which was also, this is really sad, one of the last shows I went to was last year's Halloween extravaganza in Boston.
So that was over a year ago.
Yeah, and then the last show I actually went to was Knocked Loose in November, where I blew my knee out so bad I had a bone fragment in it, and I still am not over it. And that was still over a year ago.
Yeah, I also like play shows, so that gets in the way of doing things too, because it's like, it's first off, it's like I'm going to shows all the time, but like they're local shows, which is still fun. I'm not saying anything bad about local bands or whatever, but it just feels like an obligation almost, I guess. And then on top of that, then you're just like, why would I pay to go to a show when I can just play a show and go for free?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's such a hard time because like every time like a cool show comes up, like there's been so many instances where I'm super excited for a show. I buy tickets, if not like 5, so everyone else can go too. And then the day of, I'm like, man, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah. Especially like being in Vermont where like that's such a big ask. Like you're driving at the least an hour. Most of the time, like the average is like 2.5 to go see a show.
Well, yeah, if it's a higher ground for us, it's an hour. But yeah, anywhere else, Boston or Montreal or, even the Palladium is kind of far.
Ooh, nice shot.
I'm just going to time every time I come visit you around a show that's happening and force you to go as well.
Yeah, we have decent shows that come through here too.
Well, because I remember like a month or less before I wanted to visit you last time, the Menzingers were playing like a half an hour, 45 minutes away from you.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen them in like 10 fucking years.
Yeah, me either. Oh, also speaking of Every Time I Die, did you listen to the 2 new songs?
I saw they posted that they had 2 new songs, but I didn't actually listen to them because
they're awesome. Because somehow Every Time I Die just
they're
puts
one
out
of
a
those
good record
bands
all the time. It doesn't matter, they'll change their sound and you still want to listen to it because it still has like enough of that Every Time I Die where you don't feel like they're changing their style to like follow a wave or whatever, and the riffs are always the nastiest. Like it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, the riffs always hit it. But the last album didn't do it for me, but there were some songs I liked quite a bit, but as a whole, solid band. I actually just bought, because you know me, I am a hardcore Buffalo Bills fan.
Yes.
They just put out a shirt, long sleeve / sweater, that is an Every Time I Die long sleeve from Champion, and on it just is the Buffalo Bills logo mixed with them, obviously, with like a Christmas hat on. It just says "Believe."
And you did buy it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, because I'm pretty sure you could have bought that in a bundle with the live ticket.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Shit.
But it could
Well,
it might have been a different one.
I mean, it was a Champion fucking long sleeve, possibly actual sweater. I don't actually know if it's gonna be a long sleeve or a sweater, because it's like one of those. It looks like a sweater, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, they had some crew necks too, and I almost pulled the trigger on it because I just missed the days of crew necks. I used to have such a huge crew neck collection, and I have none.
Dude,
now.
me too. But like, dude, I used to have so many, but like, they all just like they are the first article of clothing to shrink, and not in the way you want it to. Like they shrink upwards. So I have so many like fucking belly shirt crew necks.
Yeah. I mean, if you just commit and turn them into belly shirts, it might be pretty lit, actually.
Yeah, well, that also probably cut off half the image, though.
Oh, that's true. But yeah, I miss my crew necks. Dude, I have so much music news today. I also have music news about Taylor Swift, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody wants to hear about T Swift.
I think the general public wants to know.
Okay, let's see. I wrote a lot of notes because I just dug deep in here and it got weirder and weirder. But Taylor Swift is re-recording her last 6 albums because her record label bought the masters for publishing rights, and there's like a lot of money in publishing. And
well,
like this isn't a new thing though. This happens to everybody. Like Michael Jackson bought the Beatles' entire like discography.
I thought this whole T Swift thing already happened because of you're so far away.
Well, the thing happened where they sold her masters, but now she is re-recording the songs. But the only reason why I looked into it is because I heard a snippet of the re-recording of Love Story, and there's just a random eagle screeching in the background. And I'm gonna try to play the clip through the headset and see if everybody can hear it. But like this is where my whole like just downward spiral started. Was I heard this clip and I was like, what the fuck was that? All right, so here's what everyone's been waiting for.
I've been feeling so alone, I keep waiting for you, but you never.
Did you hear that fucking eagle?
Dude, what is it though?
That?
So this goes back to a podcast that we had in the basement before podcast where we were debating why the fuck bird noises are so prevalent in rap music.
Yeah, I remember
And-
this actually.
Yeah, and now T Swift is adopting it. So, can you just listen to this on Spotify? Because that's gonna make Marcus's fucking week.
I don't know. I don't think it's actually released yet. This is like a
Oh,
1 minute little
shit.
thing. It's a little snippet. I could certainly send you the link. But so hearing that got me like looking into it and trying to figure out what was going on. Because like my main thought was, is Taylor Swift actually an advocate for musicians, or is she just wicked money hungry? Because she did the thing with Spotify a long time ago too, where she was like, these streaming services aren't paying artists enough money, so I'm not putting my money out on any streaming services. And then Apple clearly gave her a fat ass check. So then she went to
She's
Apple
also
Music,
on Spotify now.
and then now she's on Spotify. And then I feel like
It's really
the same
honestly
thing with
a tough
this.
one. I mean, it's honestly a tough one because like part of me is like, she could be money hungry, but also part of me is like, but she's kind of deserving to be money hungry.
But
You know
so
what I
are
mean?
all artists. Because artists are constantly getting fucked
But what
around.
I was saying is that like maybe the advocation of equal music rights or whatever the fuck her thing was before is a good thing for everyone, but she might not have been doing it for the best of reasons.
Yeah, I think that it probably does like fall in the middle. Like she's, although again, I just like see the worst in people, and I feel like the way she takes that angle so she can get what she wants while not looking like an asshole. It's not even like both worlds can win. It's kind of just so I come out on top. Like you just stack the cards against the player, you know.
But yeah, and like the narrative definitely shifted a while ago because I don't know the news too well because I don't read, like I said previously. But she definitely has been in and like a debate and stuff about music because she kind of got fucked over like every musician does by a record label,
Yeah.
and she doesn't like own her music or whatever.
And then I think it just helps
So-
that she's so adored. Like her fans
Yeah.
will stick
Which-
with her like no matter what. So I think that helps.
Do you remember what was it called? What was her crew called? It was hilarious.
Oh, was it the Gal Pals?
You know what I'm Well,
something?
so there was an import,
And it was
but there was
all
also
it
like
was all just like tall
it was like
blonde
it was
white
like
chicks, right?
it was like the millennial like Taylor Swift's
Oh my
millennial
God,
gal
let me see
pals
if
or
I can find
something.
it. I'm gonna
Like
look,
I don't know
this
if
is how
it
I'm gonna
was
look it up.
something
Taylor
that
Swift's girl
she.
crew.
Yeah, I don't know if she coined the term or if it was just like coined by someone else, but because there
Calling
was
it
for like a
the
little
Taylor
while.
Swift's Girl Squad, but I know there was a better name.
No, it was way funnier than that. And it definitely wasn't something she coined. It was just like what they were calling. So, because there was that like weird time where it was like her and like Carl Delphine or whatever the fuck that girl's name is, and like Selena Gomez and like all these other like
Carl
really
Delphine,
famous.
That does not sound like anybody's
Carly, I don't
name.
know. The one,
And definitely not
the one
Girl
with the
Squad.
one with the eyebrows that everyone likes a lot.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Actually, yeah.
I don't
Because she
know,
got
really.
naked in the Blurred Lines music video, right? Anyways,
No. I do know who you're talking about, but
Oh,
that's not who
okay.
I was talking about.
the other thing I found while I was researching this is it said that the people who bought the rights were like her record label, which I think is called Big Machine, which is owned by this dude named Scooter Braun. But
Yeah, so
also,
that's the Scooter Braun's. So if you just search Scooter Braun's controversy, you'll find it because apparently he's just like one of the worst, and he just like fucked over a bunch of people, or at least she claims, or whatever.
but some of the other money, he just murdered that dude with
Beat
pickaxes.
down, dude.
Oh my god, that was so tight.
I have
Um,
20 health now, though.
But apparently, some of the other money came from the Soros family, which I'm assuming means like George Soros, like Alex Jones' arch nemesis, the leader of the deep state and the lizard people.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, if there's any celebrity in the deep state, it's fucking Taylor Swift.
Oh, definitely, dude. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, hit me with
She
that
got
goat
brain.
juice,
She
dude.
got friggin' brainwashed while she was doing the.
She might
fucking
also
rodeo
be
circuit.
a lizard. Oh my god! So that's every time people talk about Taylor Swift, and like for the most part, this generation like coming up don't even know about this, but like Taylor Swift had so much backlash for her rodeo days.
Yeah, and also she
'Cause
was
she used to, like-
photographed with that dude dressed as a Nazi on Halloween.
Because like she would often like perform at rodeos, which
Yeah.
is now definitely not acceptable.
No.
I mean, at least where I'm from, even though like I'm in a blue state, but there's a lot of rednecks. But like rodeos, not cool anymore.
Mm-mm.
Do I
Yeah.
agree with that? Not sure.
But
Not
I just
sure.
remember like there was an
Just-
article written like a long ass time ago, and the headline was so funny because it was just something like Taylor Swift is an animal abusing Nazi.
Well, again, am I like completely projecting, or was that "I Knew You Were in Trouble When You Walked In" song about that Nazi guy?
No, I think you're probably right. But like I don't even understand like there's nothing that can explain that costume. Like you dressed as a Nazi. That's all there is to it. But yeah, so to add to that article, Taylor Swift is an animal abusing lizard person Nazi. So Twitch recently removed the tag blind playthrough because somebody was claiming it was detrimental to the blind gaming community. And part of me
What?
believes that this probably wasn't even like a blind person. It was probably just someone with too much time on their hands. But I thought it was funny that this was like a newsworthy thing because it feels so non-controversial. Like if you didn't do it, nobody would have cared. If you do it, such a few amount of people care. You know what I'm saying?
I really don't. Blind, like who's watching Twitch if they're blind?
No, it's the people. Apparently, so this is actually kind of cool too, and I want to start watching it. But apparently, there is a blind gaming community out there as well. So, because I also found this other like tweet, and it's by a guy named Steve Saylor. He runs the YouTube channel Blind Gamer, and is the media editor of the Can I Play That video game accessibility website, which all sounds really cool and really interesting. But what he quoted to it was changing the term blind playthrough is not social justice warriors being super sensitive. I've said this before. First playthrough is a better description anyway. I personally am not offended by it, but I do think it's a term that could go away. Language changes over time, so let it. Which I thought backs up like my initial feelings, which is just like it doesn't seem like it is that big of a deal. So it's just like it doesn't really matter if you do, it doesn't really matter if you don't. And I also just really appreciated his quote because I just love it when people are normal. Like, you know, and they don't like go over the top. But that still didn't explain to me who started raising a stink about it.
I just like don't have any comment on it. I
Well-
just like don't even. I don't even know. Like, okay.
Well, so
I'm just really
however,
confused by the whole thing. Because like I know like accessibility in games is like a big deal. Like The Last of Us 2 was like pioneering a bunch of stuff to like make sure that like anybody, no matter the disability or not, could play and appreciate their game, which is totally fucking awesome.
yeah,
Especially
and again, like this
because
is something
if
I've
you
never
have
thought
a disability, the biggest thing I would want them to do is be able to fucking enjoy video games because it's
Yeah.
an escape and it's
So-
awesome.
So I mean, like mostly all of this is just really cool because I've never thought about it before. However, though, looking into this, I did find a tweet that might stimulate our smooth brains, and we might have something to say about it. It's 4 tweets, and I'm just going to read them all in full, back to back to back. But the first one is, I'd like you to do me a favor. Use your phone / a notebook to keep track of the number of times you use ableist language in conversation this week. Examples: lame, blind to criticism, falling on deaf ears, don't be a spaz, and then he also drops a hard R. But I'm just gonna say it anyways.
Okay.
Retarded. Then he also goes on to say, if you get a parking ticket and you say that's lame, what you actually meant was that sucks. If you die in a video game and you yell that was hard R, what you actually meant was that was bad. Ableist language is inserting a disability in place of a negative word. Just as we used to say, gay when something was bad. Using disability terms as an alternative word for a negative situation or feeling is common in today's language. But just as we stop saying gay to mean bad, we can stop saying these words too.
I agree up until lame.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know. And this is just my initial thought, was like I'm not trying to shit on blind people or anybody necessarily, but calling a first playthrough a blind playthrough in calling someone gay is kind of apples to oranges.
Yeah,
And
that's
like if you have a
because-
compelling argument, or if somebody has
But-
a compelling argument, I would love to hear it, because no pun intended, I just don't see it.
No, so with the example of blind playthrough, that's literally meaning that you have not seen it yet. You have not played through it yet. You have not seen it. You are doing a blind playthrough. That is not a dig on blind people. That's fucking
Yeah, I think
way
that's-
too far.
And I feel like that's where the
That's
difference
just
is.
so far away from the reality. That's just getting way too stuck up on terminology and not context. And that's just silly. And there's no reason to be that way. And I guarantee you, there are no normal blind people who aren't like radically left and super fucking PC woke that would think that me being like, I'm gonna do a blind playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077 tomorrow when it drops, they would be offended, like, oh, you're not doing a blind playthrough because I'm gonna do a blind playthrough. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah, he did have a
And if
funny little thing though, where it said a blind playthrough would be to turn your monitor off, and I don't think that's what most mean. I did laugh at that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, it's literally like the idea of it, like what would be the alternative? Like I'm trying to think. Like I'm doing a fresh playthrough. Like sure,
Yeah,
you could
he
say that
said,
if it honestly
no
offended
spoilers
somebody.
Playthrough or undiscovered or first. But I
A
also didn't
first
realize
playthrough.
that there was a difference between, like it seems here that there's a difference between first playthrough and blind playthrough, which I don't really understand. But I guess the difference
Well,
is you're
so-
saying is you've just
well-
like you haven't watched anything about it, you haven't read
Yeah,
about
exactly,
it.
like-
I don't know shit
Like
about this game.
I have been
that
like
be the
so I'm
tag?
super. Yeah, like I'm
I don't know
super
shit
pumped
about
for
this
Cyber.
game.
Yeah, like I'm super pumped for Cyberpunk, and tomorrow, starting at like 7 o'clock Western time, you're allowed to stream it. But I'm not going to be able to actually play it myself until I'm at work playing it because I play video games at work on the 10th. So that would be my blind playthrough, my first playthrough, and I will not, and I do not plan on watching anyone play it tomorrow at 7 on the West Coast. Like, because I don't want anything spoiled for me, so I'm going to do
Right.
a blind playthrough myself. I'm not going to stream it, obviously, because
Oh,
I
that makes
could, but
now.
I'm going
Now I
to.
understand his no spoilers playthrough. At first, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was like, how can you do a playthrough with no spoilers? If someone's watching, it's gonna get spoiled. But I see it wasn't. It meant that it wasn't spoiled for you. But then again, that's clearly a bad tag. If me reading it couldn't figure out what the fuck it meant.
It's just. I mean, like, we're not controversial, and I don't want to be fucking PC or whatever, but that's just so fucking. It's too far. It's just too far.
Yeah, and
In
I
the
feel like
wrong
I
direction.
could have ran with it a little bit more if they didn't throw in like the gay comparison, because like that is used as
Well,
an insult. That's not just that's
yeah.
not describing something as just, as you said, being bad. You know, maybe sometimes it's
Yeah.
used like that, but I mean, like,
And yeah,
that's not,
and
that's
that was
not
like
the same thing.
it was also like yeah, like his point in that aspect is totally like true. Like we all used to use gay as bad, and like obviously now like that's totally not acceptable, and we all understand that that's like not cool. But like back then, so maybe in 5 years we'll think saying a blind react or something is bad, but I honestly don't see it going that far because it's just really silly.
Yeah. But I don't know. I wrote it down just because I wanted to like talk about it because yeah, it does seem like silly. Again, not to like take if anybody is like having I don't know I don't know
No.
any blind people.
Well, no, and like my thing is so like for instance, like the accessibility options for a lot of games coming out, and The Last of Us Part 2 was one of those that had really awesome accessibility settings. Is awesome because I want everyone to play video games. Video games are amazing. They're a great escapism, and like for people, especially with disabilities, I want them to be able to experience these things. But to go so far to be like, I can't say I'm going to do a blind react because there are blind people. It's like, if there's a way for blind people to play video games, that's awesome. But it also doesn't detract from the fact that if I do a playthrough for the first time, in a weird sense, it's not a blind playthrough.
Yeah. But
And maybe that's
pretty interesting.
wrong, but like I don't. And like I would probably correct my speech if that's what has to happen because I've done it many times.
Yeah.
Definitely not been on the right side of like woke culture before, but I
And I mean,
generally
especially
will.
if you can come up with a term that does like make more sense, then definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've never thought about it before. But I also don't, and again, like I don't ever
It
insult
just
anyone
seems
with
too
like
too.
I don't know. I've never insulted somebody by calling them blind.
It's never like
either.
so. It's like so like calling someone gay in the term of stupid is clearly just wrong. But saying
Because it's
I'm
more
gonna
than
do
it's
something,
more
I'm
than
gonna
that too. It's more than just
yeah,
calling them stupid.
I'm going into this blind is not in the same fucking vein. It's just not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
That
just
comparison
it's just
was
simply
like
not.
that really kind of hurt.
It's just
I
simply
feel like that
not.
really hurt the point you were trying to make.
Yeah. It just goes like to show that like people trying to be overly woke is a problem.
Yeah.
It's great to be inclusive. It's great to not offend anybody. It's awesome for people to just enjoy content and there be a semi-safe space. But it's also like the more you baby people and things and different opinions and people's stances, it's actually more detrimental. And like a lot of like a lot of times, it's actually more beneficial to have a conversation about it and possibly come to an understanding than it is to just be like, you cannot do this, you cannot say this anymore.
Yeah. But
It's easier to change.
unfortunately-
It's easier to change somebody's mind than it is to say you can't do this.
Yeah. But again, it feels so hard to like have just a conversation with people nowadays.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
that's a
kind of why,
different
which is why I like this because I think it's like known that we're trying to make jokes, which like puts you in a safe environment, where it's like you could talk. If we wanted to, we could talk about something really heavy and get different opinions. But since it's got like a little air to, like we can be funny and we don't have to get super heated about it.
Being part of the conversation is way more helpful than stopping the conversation.
Yeah. But I will tell you, I'm gonna be really aware if I do say any of those things. Like, yeah, the lame one I don't get. I also don't get spaz because I hear that one like more and more being like not allowed. It's not something I use a lot, but it's not anything I've ever known as being as like a diagnosis or something that's real.
Like, I've definitely heard this argument before. And I've never like even put any thought into it because I don't think I've ever used that kind of terminology. I don't think I've been like, oh my god, you're being such a spaz. Like that's some like weird '80s speak.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just thought it was like an old thing, like spazzing out. But what is that? Like, what would that be? Is that someone who has like epilepsy or something? I don't even know.
Well, I think it's just another term for the hard R.
Oh.
But yeah, I just like not gonna put any fucking thought into that because I don't think I use besides the blind thing or blind react or whatever.
I actually do want to like kind of keep tally and see if I ever use it. But again, like blind is like a real word. Also, I feel like it's not just a disability.
Yeah, exactly. Like being blind is obviously a disability, but like blind is a term, and like. I mean, there's tons of things like this. Like, I didn't know until like the 10th grade that gypped was a slur, like to be
a
gypped,
lot of
and, like,
a lot of people don't know that. I see it used
And,
all
like,
the time,
now-
and I tell people it not because like I am offended by it, but I just think it's crazy knowledge to know where it comes from.
yeah,
because
I was
nobody
told by like
knows.
I was like told by like my 9th grade teacher, and I didn't say the word, but somebody else said like, "Oh, you gypped me on this, like a test or something." And he's like, "Yo, like you're not like that's a slur," which at the same time, like, are gypsies even a race? But like at the same time, it doesn't even matter because like just don't
Yeah.
say it. Like there's definitely other ways to say that, and like that's totally fine with me. Like I'm not gonna complain. But
And again, that one seems really
blind
really terrible
react is so fucking on left field.
because
like,
that
too
one actually
far
came
left.
because the gypsy one actually came from gypsy and was turned into
Yeah,
a slur.
exactly.
It wasn't I don't know.
Exactly.
What
Or
came
like
first, the blind person or the word blind?
But I just
Now
feel
we're
like
getting all
blind react
philosophical.
is such a silly thing to be upset about, and I guarantee you that no blind person's upset about that. And if they are,
Right.
then they really need
Well,
to
yeah,
just
that's
take
the
a
one dude
just
like wasn't.
take a
Like
step
I
back.
loved. I'm gonna read it again because I just love what he said. He said, "Changing the term blind playthrough is not social justice warriors being super sensitive. I've said this before. First playthrough is a better description anyway. I personally am not offended by it, but I do think it's a term that can go away. Language changes over time, so let it." Which I feel like is exactly like in tune with what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like if first playthrough does like make more sense to people, then yeah, definitely. If that is the better
I think
terminology, or
for-
if there's
I
better
think- I think-
terminology out there, then yeah, for sure. But like he was saying, like I'm not offended.
But
by
there's
it.
what is the other one? Like blind react, like first react. That doesn't sound as good.
Yeah.
I'll say it. But like, if
But
it's
now I'm seeing where
really
that could get
something-
confused with when you say blind react. Are you talking about a blind person reacting?
Yeah, I don't have a real hard stance on that. I just think
No,
it's
I
all
don't either.
kind of silly.
I just thought it would kind of be fun to talk about because it's different. It's interesting.
Also, like, I feel like words
It's relevant because we're
are
on Twitch right now.
I think words in general are so like circumstantial because like yeah, like you should always be aware of the things you say in order to make everyone around you feel comfortable. But there's also very often times where you know the people you're around and you know what they'll find funny and not funny or offensive or not funny or not offensive, I should say.
Yeah.
And I think in that circumstance it's totally
Yeah,
acceptable.
no, I agree. There's different,
Like-
definitely like different people.
and, like,
it's like if you're at work or at school, you use different language than when you're at home. You know.
Yeah, for better or worse, but at the same time, like I'm like my goal in life isn't to like piss off disabled people. I'm gonna have to like go to an internet cafe to do this podcast.
That would be so funny. Shit, maybe that could be our shtick. Like how there's the podcast but outside. We'll just do podcasts, but we have to do it at an internet cafe, and it's just getting kicked out of internet cafes. Have you realized how niche calendars get? Well, at work, they buy us calendars every year, and I've noticed it before, but like I never really I don't know, I've never mentioned it to anybody. But they're just really niche. So I wrote down some titles of the calendars that were available to me. We have North American grain elevators, teapots, big rigs, horn porn, just weather was one, which I guess is just pictures of weather, which I guess is kind of cool, but weird for a calendar. Just cows, nice Jewish guys, nautical knots, what horses
Oh,
teach
God.
us, Kama Sutra sloths,
Horses.
farmer to table,
teach ya.
and of course my favorite, dragon sex.
I built a little cabin
I like it,
for us to live in.
but I really wish I was
There
brave enough
is-
to pull the trigger on dragon sex.
What's that, bitch? I got them all.
Adrian showed up.
Isn't that fucking health though?
Dude, it's just you and somebody else.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yes! Oh my god,
Get
you came in so clutch
fucked.
there.
Get
Dude, that was
fucked.